Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Ahmadai Shakur. Now that Dwayne Keith D. Davis has been indicted on one count of red rum with a deadly weapon, was Diddy the one who initiated and orchestrated this hit? Let's get into it. In 2006, Voletta Wallace, the mother of Biggie Smalls, sued the LAPD for $500 million based on the fact that she believed the police covered up the death of her son. This led to the case being reopened, and it was given to Detective Greg Kading, who then said that he got new information leading him to believe that P. Diddy was involved and that the cases between Tupac and Biggie Smalls were in fact linked. Please pay attention. After working on the case for 3 years, Detective Kading says that he came to the conclusion that it was Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, who put out $1 million hit on Tupac and Suge Knight. He says the music mogul had close ties to LA gangs and hired Crips member Dwayne Keith D. Davis to carry out the hits.
One day you get a call from Zip and he asks you to meet him at Greenblatt's Deli?
Yeah.
And what happens there?
We go here and what's her name? Angela Winbush. And what's his name? Mr. Biggs. He was all up there. We was up there eating in deli and shit. Puffers was a couple of girls from the hood and shit. And then he took me downstairs, just got to talking and shit. Yeah.
Keefe D says that Puffy pulled him aside and basically solicited his assistants to take care of Suge. And of course, Tupac's name came up and he was kind of added to the list, according to Keefe D. And that's when there was a kind of a very vague discussion over money. And next thing you know, Las Vegas happened.
And in case you're wondering why Davis was doing all this self-snitching, well, it's because when he met with the local and federal authorities in 2009, he actually confessed to all of this, but their agreement was that they wouldn't use any of this information against him. So he clearly thought he had immunity. You see, that was only specifically pertaining to the interview, however. It didn't have anything to do with him writing memoirs and going on other shows for interviews and running his mouth. Please pay attention.
This morning, new questions about why it took authorities 27 years to arrest 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis for the murder of Tupac Shakur. Overnight, we spoke to the former investigator who worked on both the Tupac Shakur and Notorious B.I.G.'s murder case, who says Davis set himself up.
He was under what we call the proffer agreement back in 2009 on his initial confession. And that agreement states that we can't use the information in that interview against him.
After being questioned in 2009, Davis gave multiple interviews and wrote a tell-all memoir detailing specifics about the night of the murder, including this one to BET.
You said the shots came from the back. Who shot Tupac?
They keep for the code of the streets. It just came from the back seat.
It was those public comments that reinvigorated the case.
He erroneously believed that he had immunity, which he never did. And so that gave him this sense of comfort, that thinking that he could go out and brag about being involved in the murder without any repercussions.
Kading says the slaying was supposed to be carried out by Davis, but they mistakenly pulled up on the wrong side of Pac's car. And so therefore, his nephew, Orlando Babylane Anderson, is the one who did it. Now, Davis has alleged that Faith Evans actually knew about this entire plot to take the life of Tupac. He says that after it was done, he contacted both Evans and Diddy to let them know that they had done the job and that they were responsible for the death. Kading says despite Biggie Smalls' beef with Tupac, he had absolutely nothing to do with it and he didn't even know about the plot, though they think that Faith knew. But at the end of the day, I find it interesting that Orlando Anderson is the one who was the trigger man when it wasn't even supposed to be him. But coincidentally, he was the one that got into a fight with Pac at the Vegas casino. Now, it's alleged that after narrowly escaping with his life, Suge Knight hired Blood Gang members to take out Biggie. They say that Biggie was slain on his way home from a party thrown by Vibe magazine. Interestingly enough, the documentary says that Suge Knight actually saw the face of the person who took Tupac's life and that he also went to school with the hired hitman, Dwayne Keith D. Davis. With that all being said, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.